Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. Since 2023, major fast food chains across the United States have been experimenting with artificial intelligence at their drive-through windows. Taco Bell rolled out AI voice ordering systems at hundreds of locations. The goal was simple: reduce human error, speed up service, and cut costs. But in practice, things didn't always go according to plan. Customers reported bizarre interactions, orders were misunderstood, drinks were repeated endlessly. The items were added that were never requested. In one case, at another chain, bacon was mistakenly added to an ice cream. In another, hundreds of dollars worth of chicken nuggets appeared on a bill. McDonald's quietly scaled back parts of its AI trial after reliability concerns. Taco Bell executives admitted the system sometimes surprised them, and sometimes let them down. And that tension captures the current state of consumer generative AI perfectly. It works most of the time. But when it fails confidently. And that small percentage of error becomes a big problem when scaled across millions of interactions. So where does this leave us? A recent MIT study surveyed hundreds of business leaders and employees. The headline was shocking. Only a small fraction of companies deploying generative AI at scale were extracting significant measurable value. The majority reported limited or no impact on profitability. Markets reacted immediately. AI-linked stocks dipped. Analysts debated whether expectations had gotten ahead of reality. But as always, the headline only tells part of the story. Let's zoom out. Generative AI today is largely built on transformer architecture, first introduced in a 2017 Google research paper. That breakthrough allowed models to analyze relationships between words in parallel rather than sequentially. It enabled language models to predict the next most likely word based on statistical patterns learned from enormous datasets. That innovation changed everything, but it also created a structural limitation. Large language models don't understand information. They calculate probability. They generate the most statistically likely next word. And when the data is ambiguous or incomplete, they don't say, "I don't know." They improvise. This is what we call hallucination. And hallucination isn't just an internet curiosity. It becomes dangerous in business settings. Imagine a company replaces part of its support team with AI to summarize meetings, process documents, or schedule operations. At first, it looks efficient. Costs drop, output increases. Then someone notices discrepancies. 10% of summaries contain details that were never discussed. Patient files are miscategorized. Scheduling tools assign tasks incorrectly. Demographic data is mismatched. Now human employees must audit every output. Instead of replacing labor, the AI adds an additional layer of verification. Efficiency evaporates. Online forums are full of real stories like this. Finance teams double-checking automated invoices. Medical staff reviewing AI-sorted records. Production managers verifying AI-generated schedules that were supposed to save time. In highly precise environments, healthcare, legal work, compliance, even small errors are unacceptable. And here's the paradox. AI is extremely good at non-critical tasks. Drafting first versions, brainstorming, translating languages, generating marketing copy, writing prototype code, assisting research. In these contexts, a small margin of error is manageable. But when businesses attempt full automation, replacing people rather than augmenting them, the cracks start to show. There are also documented cases of companies reversing course. Some firms reduced headcount in favor of AI chatbots, only to discover customer satisfaction plummeted. But users wanted human interaction, nuance, empathy. A chatbot that statistically predicts language cannot replicate lived experience. And yet, this is not the whole picture. Some companies are succeeding spectacularly with AI. Startups that focus on solving one specific pain point, not replacing entire departments, have grown from zero revenue to tens of millions within a year. They don't try to automate everything. They integrate AI surgically. Adoption strategy matters. My research suggests companies that partner with specialized AI vendors succeed far more often than those attempting internal builds without expertise. The lesson is clear. AI is not magic. It is a tool, and tools require skillful use. Now let's address the bigger question. Is generative AI in a bubble? History gives us a framework. In the late 1990s, during the dot-com boom, companies added .com to their names and saw valuations skyrocket. Investors feared missing out. Capital flooded in. But many of those companies had no sustainable business model. When reality caught up, the bubble burst. But from that collapse emerged Amazon, Google, and the modern internet economy. Today, AI infrastructure spending is massive. Advanced GPUs cost tens of thousands of dollars each. Data center construction is accelerating at unprecedented rates. Electricity usage tied to AI workloads is rising measurably. The belief driving this investment is enormous productivity gains. But if implementation remains messy and returns stay uncertain, friction builds. Here's a possible scenario. Executives grow frustrated with unreliable outputs and unclear ROI. Investors begin questioning valuations. Public sentiment turns as people grow tired of low-quality AI content flooding the internet. Funding slows. Companies consolidate. Only the strongest use cases survive. This would mirror every major technology cycle in history. But here's the counterpoint. AI is still early. While the transformer model may not be the final architecture, a breakthrough could reduce hallucinations dramatically. Hybrid systems combining symbolic reasoning with neural networks could improve reliability. Efficiency improvements could lower operational costs. And if that happens, productivity gains could accelerate rapidly. Technological revolutions rarely move in straight lines. They surge, they disappoint, they consolidate, they mature. The Gartner hype cycle illustrates this perfectly. A technology trigger, a peak of inflated expectations, a trough of disillusionment, then eventually a plateau of productivity. Where are we now? Some would argue we're at the peak. Others believe we're entering the trough. A few think the real breakthrough hasn't even happened yet. The truth is, nobody knows. AI today is both transformative and flawed. It can write code and invent legal cases. It can summarize meetings and fabricate dialogue. It can assist productivity and generate extra work. The future will depend on whether the next wave solves the core reliability problem. Until then, the smartest approach isn't blind adoption or outright dismissal. It's measured integration. Augment humans. Don't replace them prematurely. Test carefully. Scale thoughtfully. Because like every powerful technology before it, AI will reward those who understand its limits as much as its strengths. And that's the fascinating part. With AI, we're watching the future being negotiated in real time. So the question remains, are we in a bubble or at the beginning of something far bigger? Only time will tell. This has been Cold Fusion, New Thinking.